Hi there, algebra students. One more day on point slope form, but we're going to add, again, something new today. It's not just the same stuff. So here we've got our definition of point slope form. The new thing that we're going to be doing today, because remember, so far I've given you a point and a slope, and you just write it in point slope form. I've given you 2 points. You find the slope, you write it in point slope form. Today, we're going to be taking that knowledge that we have, writing an equation in point slope form, and then we're also going to change it into slope intercept form. Now, when we started point slope form, I said, I love point slope form. It's great for getting an equation and getting it pretty quickly, but it's not as great if I'm trying to graph or if I'm trying to compare equations. So slope intercept form is kind of our standard that we use as like our basic equation for the most part. So sometimes we just want to be able to get it back into slope intercept form. So you've seen this slide already. Here we've got our point slope form, y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. So here I've got these problems. We are going to start by just write them in point slope form. That's all we need to do at first. And again, point slope form, y minus the y number equals m times x minus the x number. So I'm going to have y minus my y number is 1 equals m, which is negative 3, times x minus the x number. We do a keep, change. Point slope form, done. Now, the new thing that I want to do today is I want to get this back into slope intercept form. And if you remember, that's y equals mx plus b. Notice there's no parentheses in slope intercept form, and the y is all by itself. So what I'm going to do is take this point slope form equation that I have. I'm going to first distribute to get rid of the parentheses, and then I just move the number away from the y. This is a 2-step process. It's not hard. So we're going to keep that y minus 1 for a moment. We're going to distribute. So negative 3 times x is negative 3x. And then negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. And you can see right now it's looking almost like slope intercept form. I just need to move that 1. I don't want y minus 1. I just want y. So I'm going to add 1. And then be careful where you put that plus 1. It doesn't go with the x because it doesn't have an x. So I would put it right underneath that negative 6. My equation is going to be y equals negative 3x plus a negative or just minus 5. And there it is in slope intercept form. For my second problem, again, point slope form, so y minus my y number equals m times x minus the x number. That's point slope. I want slope intercept. Again, 2 steps. Distribute, move the thing with the y. So we're going to distribute this. I'm going to actually change this to plus a negative just to make sure that we don't get confused in our distribution. So I'm going to have y minus 2 equals negative 1/2 x. That first distribution is easy. And then a negative 1/2 times a negative 1 is going to be a positive 1/2. I know some of you are looking at that and you're a little freaked out because it's got 2 fractions now. It's okay. I just need to move the number that's with the y. So I have to get rid of that subtracting 2. I would add 2. I'm going to have y equals negative 1/2 x. Now, I've got a half plus 2. To be perfectly honest, I would be just fine with 2.5. 2.5 is fine. 5/2 is fine. Any way that you want to write that, 2.5, that's what we would need for the y-intercept. But again, I'm not asking you to graph these. Okay, now this is more like our last lesson where I'm giving you 2 points. We have to first find the slope, and then point slope, and then slope intercept. So it's just been building as we add new lessons in here. So my first step is slope, right? And remember, slope is we're going to subtract the y's on the top and the x's on the bottom. So I personally don't care which direction you subtract as long as you're consistent. I just know that most students like to always do this the same way. Personally, I would maybe change the order on this one, but we can start on this ordered pair. So negative 2 minus 2. And then since I started with the -2, I also have to start with the 1. This gives me -4 on the top, -2 on the bottom, which is a slope of 2. Now, I don't care which ordered pair you pick. In our last lesson, I said, let's just always stick with the first ordered pair. And I said, and don't worry, I'll show you later that it doesn't matter which one you pick. I'm going to show you in just a second. So let's use that first ordered pair. I would have y minus my y number equals m times x minus my x number. That's point slope. All done. All I need to do now, 2 steps. Distribute, move the number with the y. So y minus 2 equals 2x minus 6, and then we're going to add our 2. So I get that y equals 2x. -6 and +2 is going to be a -4. Now, I do not want you to do your problems more than once. There's no reason to do problems twice. But on this one problem, I'm going to show you that it doesn't matter if I chose the other ordered pair. My point slope equation is going to look different, but when I get it all down to slope intercept form, it's going to look the same. And I'll explain why in a second. But let's do the same work using my slope of 2 and using this ordered pair. So I would have y minus my y number equals m times x minus my x number. So it looks significantly different from the point slope form with the other ordered pair. But remember, it's because I'm using any ordered pair on the line. When I get it down to slope intercept form, it's going to look exactly the same because it's that one line has one y-intercept at -4. So it's going to have to be the same there. So we're going to distribute. I'll have y plus 2 equals 2x minus 2. And then I would subtract the 2, which gives me y equals 2x plus a -4 or -4. It works both ways. And again, please don't feel like you have to do every problem twice to verify that. I'm just showing you that it does not matter what point you start with for your point slope, you will get the same slope intercept form. All right, for this one. This time I am going to change the order on the slope because it just makes more sense in this problem. I'm going to start with this ordered pair, which means I'll have -3 minus -9, and then 1 minus -1, which gives me 6 over 2, which is a slope of 3. If you had used the other order, you would also get 3. It'd be fine. And let's pick this first ordered pair. So I'll have y minus my y number equals m times x minus my x number. I have y plus 3 equals, and we'll distribute now, 3x minus 3. And then we get rid of this 3 that's with the y. So y equals 3x. Be careful here to not think that that's going to be 0, because it's not. That's going to be a -6. Okay, just like the last lesson, I'm going to say if you feel pretty good right now, please pause the video, do 5 and 6 on your own, and then check it with my work. Okay, so I'm going to go through these. So I'm going to have -1 minus 1 and 4 minus -4. Gets me -2 over 8, which is -1/4. And then let's pick this first ordered pair. So y minus my y number equals -1/4 times x minus my x number. And I know that some of you see that fraction and you are concerned about that. Remember, you can absolutely use a calculator if you need to. However, I'm going to give you nice problems for this distribution. -1/4 times x is just -1/4 x. -1/4 times 4. Well, they're different signs, so it's going to be negative. 1/4 of 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. Now, I'm going to add the 1 to get the y all by itself, and I get that y equals negative 1/4 x. Plus 0. I don't need to write plus 0. You can, but you don't need it. And for the last problem, I'm going to have 0 minus 2 over 2 minus 1, negative 2 over 1, which is negative 2. And then using this ordered pair, y minus the y number, m times x minus the x number. And now we want to get the y by itself. So we're going to distribute y minus 2 equals negative 2x plus 2. And then I'm going to add the 2. Okay. Today, nice short worksheet, changing point slope form into slope intercept form. When you're done with that short worksheet, then make sure you check the answer key in Schoology. And when you're all done, take the formative in Schoology. Let me know if you need any help.